Hey everybody, welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. So, have you ever heard like, oh my goodness, if you have a 3 or 2% mortgage, you should replace it with the 8 or 9% first lien HELOC? And I have actually gotten emails about this. And here's the thing, I don't give anybody like financial advice, but if you watch enough of these videos, you could kind of get the hint of where I'm going with this, right? So here's what I'm going to talk about today. We're going to do another velocity banking video. In fact, we're going to do the same review that we did as last time. Okay. Um, but with the emphasis that, hey, like a 30% credit card, if you do the chunking method that I talked about, will probably beat the first lien HELOC. And we're going to demonstrate that today. So what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate it from the rich person's point of view. So 15 grand a month. And to be honest, like these velocity banking scenarios make much more sense as you get more income and more debt because that's what we call the financial stress test, right? If you do anything at a lower income level, you kind of get the same results almost no matter what you do. But as you make more and more and more income, it's like, whoa, like we have more and more and more debt. So, for example, right here, $67 of savings we'll clearly see the difference between like the first like replacing your mortgage and all your other debt with the first lien HELOC versus just using the chunking method. And even if you use like 30% credit card with that chunking method, okay, and we'll just talk about your mortgage for now, like you're gonna come up with a much superior result. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So review all the way from the beginning. What is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy using a line of credit as your main operating account. So it requires two things. Number one is a budget, which is your debt payoff plan. And then number two, your line of credit as your main operating account. Okay? And so we're going to assume for the purposes of this demonstration that we have available to us a 1.3 million first position home equity line of credit at 10%. Okay? So we have $167,000 of credit card debt, an auto loan, a student loan, and a mortgage. And for whatever reason, maybe the property value is worth a little bit more than 1.3 million, and we're able to get 80% of that in the form of a line of credit. So you might have heard in other like YouTube videos, you should just if you have a 3% mortgage, you should always do like replace it with the home equity line of credit. And it's pretty hard to screw up velocity banking, except that is like the only way that I'm aware of that you can screw it up, right? So let's go ahead and do this. So we have our line of credit, we have our budget. Now we're going to do the velocity banking side. And so we assume two things, same income, zero savings, right? And then if we go ahead and scroll all the way down here, then it's just going to be income minus expenses, which is our cash flow. And the idea is that as the final step, we're going to move all of our debt into that first lien home equity line of credit, um, so that we can increase our cash flow. And so if we just sum all this up, this is 1.272 million of debt. So 1,272,000, okay? And then guess what? These all go to zero, right? So whoa, 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 right? Everything, since we moved the debt, all the payments go to zero. Paycheck into line of credit, expenses out of line of credit, and then this is our cash flow. Remember, this is our cash flow minus our interest expenses for using that line of credit, which is calculated here. So let me go ahead and do this. Okay, so the next month, right? And then the next month's balance plus the next month's interest minus our previous month's minus our cash flow. And then our interest is average daily balance right here, average, multiply by interest rate, and then divide by 12, right? And so now what we do is we just got to copy and paste this formula, and then we could see that the interest is 10 grand a month in the beginning with the $1.272 million of debt. That's a lot of That's a lot of interest, 10 grand, right? And if we don't have to pay it, why would we pay it, right? But that's kind of the problem with replacing your first mortgage and everything with the first lien HELOC. And so let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do that. So scroll down and we'll see right here. Oh, that's a lot of debt. All right. So we see here that it takes about 223 months. So 223 months, and we're going to go ahead and sum up the interest right here. So I'm going to sum it up. 1.5 million in interest. 223 months at 1.5 million. So let's go ahead and copy that. And we'll just, well, actually, let me just do this here. 223 months, 1.5 million interest, which is I don't feel good about this. You know what I mean? I don't feel good about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, what's first lien HELOC? Okay, what do we get from that? And so far our results, whoopsie. Let me go back here, scroll down. I'm going to copy this and we're going to copy and paste this right here. So 223 months and $1.5 million of interest. And then we're going to use I'll say second lien HELOC, and I'll do the comparison just to make life easy on us. I'll only do the comparison on the mortgage part of the 30% credit card, right? So first lien means you're replacing all your debt um, with including the mortgage, which is mortgage replacement with the line of credit, where second lien is there is no mortgage replacement. We're going to do the pay off the debt individually or in pieces at a time and go that route. Okay, so let's just assume that we have maybe a $200,000 line. I don't think it really matters. $200,000 line instead of a doing a first lien HELOC and replacing everything, including the mortgage, right? We only start off with the credit cards first, so it's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then here instead of putting that million here, it's going to be 167,000 because that's the total of the credit card debt. And then if I go in here, the cash flow is 5413.68, right? And then let's see how long it takes us to pay off debt. So, all right. So with the credit cards, it's going to take us about 36 months. Okay, so let me go ahead and highlight that. And we're going to sum this. And let me do that. So 25.7 grand at 36 months. Okay, so credit card is 25 grand, 25.7K at around 36 months. Okay. All right, so we got that covered, and then now what we got to do is tackle on the auto loan, student loan, and mortgage. So let me just make sure that the loan calculator is set up correctly for this. All right, there we go. Okay, here we go. So now we have our loan calculator. I just got to figure out at month 36 what the balances of these loans are. And then I just do 36, 36, 36 right here. And then all I got to do is now move this 24 grand balance into that line of credit. Now, if you don't know why I'm moving this one first, it's because it sucks up the most cash flow compared to the debt. Look up cash flow index. The lower the number, that's the one you want to put in. So let's move this 24 grand into that line of credit. Whoopsie. Is this right? No, this is the wrong spreadsheet. All right, here we go. I got too many of them. I got oodles and oodles of spreadsheets. Oodles. That's my word. Copyrighted. All right, 24157.77. And then so now what I do is I move that line of credit, or I'm sorry, that loan into that line of credit. We'll do this auto loan. This is now 0, and then now our cash flow is about almost 6,500. Whew, whew, whew. Man, that is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right, so now I update this cash flow to 6489.82. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. And whoa, that's pretty sweet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 months to pay off that loan. Whoa, man, this is awesome. Like, who do you know who pays off debt that quickly? Not the average person. In fact, in other demonstrations, I paid off homes in my simulated spreadsheet fantasy quicker than most people pay off their cars. Oh wait, I did that in real life too. Anyways, so let's go ahead and mark this down. So our car loans is going to be, so what's the car loan? So we'll say auto, and then this is going to be um, 40 months, right? So 40 months. Okay. And the interest is just simply going to be, okay, all this, I don't know if I would count this one right here, but yeah, I guess I'll count it just to be conservative. hmm So this, okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this, copy and paste, and then what I'm going to do is sum them up, right? Sum them up. So $417 plus 7 grand right here. Let's see, 7 grand. And then I'm gonna sum up these two. All right, so let's go ahead and sum these up. So we paid about 8.3 grand in interest. So if you don't understand that, don't worry. It's just a baseline to kind of figure out like how much interest we think we paid in total for that car loan, right? So 40 months and then 8.3K in interest. Okay. And then the next one is a student loan. Now, the student loan, okay, this is what I would do. So this is going to be 40, 40. So this one is the student loan. This one is the mortgage, right? So you see right here, student loan. Let me bring this together. So student loan and the mortgage, and as you can see, the cash flow index, we kind of want it to be a below 50, but I think it's okay to put this in the line of credit. I mean, it's not going to be like the biggest of deals, but even at this stage, I'd probably just do chunking. If it's like 22, 30, I'm okay with moving it to a line of credit, but 60 is like, and then definitely over 100, I'd never do that, right? Like this is why the mortgage is like the biggest fail of like if you put the mortgage into that line of credit, it's going to be the biggest fail because you're paying so much in interest because there's not enough cash flow to offset that interest because you're only getting $3,500 in cash flow for paying off the $788,000 into loan, right? So for example, would you give somebody 700, $850,000 just to get $3,500 a month back? That would be kind of insane, right? But that's kind of the deal with mortgages, right? So we have to really think about how little cash flow we get per paying off the loan. Okay? Okay. All right, so now let me go ahead and do this. So student loan, should I use a Velocity Bank calculator? No, it's fine. I won't do it for this. I'll just do it for the auto loan. Or I'm sorry, for the mortgage. So now it's 150 grand. So let me just do this right here. And let me copy and paste again. Okay. So now our cash flow is about 8,900. So we'll just do that and then update this figure. Again, I wouldn't really do this in real. Hold on, am I in the right place? Yeah, I'm in the right place, I think. Okay, so this is going to be 8916.37. Okay, I wouldn't really do this in real life, like I said before, just because I probably just do the chunking method. But I mean, with that cash flow index of 60 something, I think it won't be the best, but it will just pay a little bit more than normal, right? So let me go ahead and copy this, and then we'll see how much interest we paid here. And we're gonna values and number formatting. Okay. So let's go ahead and sum this up. So about 11 grand here, and then 47 grand here. Okay. And so now let's go ahead and sum up how much interest we think we've paid. And again, it's not an exact figure, but 58.8 on the student loan. So 58. So 58.8 student, 58.8K. And then now we scroll down, and that's 58 months. 58 months. Okay. All right, so now, last thing we gotta do is the mortgage, okay? And this is where that velocity banking calculator I like to show comes in. So let me open that up. Give me one moment. All right, here we go. We have our velocity banking calculator filled out. Original balance, current balance, all the figures, right? And so here's what I want to demonstrate, okay? So let's say that we replaced our mortgage, so $759,000 with this 10% line of credit. Oh my goodness, we only saved 9 grand. And if you don't think the calculator is smart enough what to know that this is a mortgage replacement, it actually is. That's the cool thing about this calculator, right? So let me scroll all the way up. So loan balance 759,000. We have the line of credit balance at 759,000, and then it just goes like, look at this big chunk, and then now it's just going down, 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 down. And so I don't know about you, but if I were the bank, this would make me really happy. You know what I mean? This would make me extremely happy. So let's just do, because here's the thing. I thought I was going to get about $323,000 in a 30-year period, but you accelerated my interest payments, right? It's kind of like what I call the bank's velocity banking. Like, yeah, pay me up everything up front in this first 7 years. I don't need 30. I'd be really excited about this, right? For you know what I mean? So this is holy, I don't even know how to say this. So f- first lien, 10%, we save. Well, I'll just put how much we paid, 314,000 of interest. Okay. Now, let's do $15,000, okay? And we'll say a 30% credit card. So, even a 30% credit card, holy balls, with the chunking method, we save 83, or we pay 83 grand. 83K. So we save about 239, well, 239, 314. Let me do the math here. So be 314 minus 83, okay? So we could save $231,000 by not doing a first lien HELOC. And it's a 30% credit card, right? See, nuance is kind of dead. You know what I mean? Like, people can't handle nuanced statements. So it's like, replace your whole mortgage with the 10% line of credit, and I'm saying, dude, if you use a 30% credit card, that would even be more optimal than a first lien 10% mortgage replacement. And this is what people don't realize, right? They don't realize, yeah, you have to kind of do the interest savings and figure out the time, how much time it's going to take you, because if you speed up the time and you're, let me just do this again, 10%, and you're doing an entire mortgage replacement, and you're only saving 9 grand, anybody would like that who's a lender, right? I would love that. Okay, so we got to be a little bit careful. Now we could see here that the 30% credit card does beat it. It's insane. But let's just assume for now we're just gonna do small $15,000 chunks, and then it'll be 5.6 years. We'll do 10%, even though I put the clickbait thumbnail 30%. But you can still see 30% credit card based on how we do it. We'll beat the 10% first lien HELOC. So for those of you who got a first lien HELOC because certain people on the internet promoted it, if you make the math work, you make the math work. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been able to make the math work at all, even in a reasonable sense. Like, who wants to pay $231,000 more than they have to? You know what I mean? All right, let me go back here. So let me go back to the other thingamajigger, whatever that means. The other window. Okay. So let me just go back here, and we have a first lien HELOC, and then we'll just say the mortgage right here. And how long did it take us to pay off the mortgage? Well, it would be 58 months plus, I guess, the 5.6 years. So let's just do that. So equals 58 divided by 12 plus 5.6. So that would be 10.43 years. Okay, so let's just do that. So 10.43 years. And how much is 223 months? So 223 divided by 12, that's 18.58 years. Holy balls. All right, this is this here. So 18.58 years. All right, so let's calculate the total interest. So we go in here, we're gonna get this number, and then we're gonna also add in the interest that we pay in the Velocity Banking spreadsheet, which is about 70.1 grand. Okay, so we'll just say 116.9 plus 70.1, 187,000. Okay, so 187,000. Okay. All right, so let's sum up the interest. So it's 25.7 plus 8.3 plus 58.8 plus 187. 280K versus 1.5 million if we're doing the whole, you know what I mean? Like, and here's the crazy part, right? Like, hold on one second. Someone's messaging me. Okay, never mind. So let me go back here. So here's the crazy part, okay? So I don't even know how to explain this. Like, this is such a no-brainer. 1.5 million versus 280. I'm definitely gonna take the 280, you know? And it's like, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, so I'll just say 30% credit. Like, I'll just do this. First lien HELOC loses, and then we'll just put 30% credit card wins. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Like, I don't even know what to say, you know what I mean? Like, it's just more like I think it's a societal disappointment that people just don't want to put in the effort to learn the nuances of any strategy. This is why, like, everybody's like, I want to buy properties no money down, rather than understanding that no money down isn't always great unless you have the appropriate deal for it, right? No money down. Oh my goodness, don't you love no money down? It's like, well, isn't that like kind of the cause of like the 2008, 2009 housing crash? Because A, you sold to poor people, which you shouldn't have done, and B, you did stupid stuff and didn't account for the risk. But I'll talk about that in another video. Right. Gosh, I'm just choking right now. I don't even know what to say. I'm just like blown away that 1.5 million versus 279,000, and people think this is a good idea. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today's Korean Atlanta mentorship. Have a great day, and we will speak next time.